this trial has given me hope and an opportunity to think about the future in a new way, not thinking about when am I going to get worse, but thinking about how do I get better.
We're not talking about a couple of years of disease control. We're talking about possibly curing these diseases.
This represents what could be the very next step in major immunotherapy.
The disease multiple sclerosis affects the lives of over 2 million people around the world with no cure. But here at the Stanford Health Center, world-leading innovations are being developed every day, including a possible new treatment for the nerve-destructing disease MS. A Palo Alto community member made the brave decision to partake in this unproven study and has seen immensely positive results thus far. In this two-part and focused new series, we uncover the struggles Palo Alto community member Marcy McHugh has faced in her 14-year-long battle with multiple sclerosis and how she is moving forward with this previously thought as incurable disease.
I was lucky enough to participate in this breakthrough trial called CAR T therapy. I was the first person in the world to be in a trial for this approach to treating MS.
To understand the magnitude of multiple sclerosis, or MS's effect on its victims, we spoke to Stanford's Director of Neuroimmunology, Dr. Jeffrey Dunn.
It's a lifelong diagnosis. If you have MS, you have MS as of today for the rest of your life. Even when you're feeling well, when you have MS, you're aware of the risk. You might feel as if a new symptom that could be limiting or affect your ability to be with your family and take your kids to the soccer games, and that new symptoms can strike at any time. MS is a condition that affects the central nervous system, the brain, and the spinal cord. And MS is one of the autoimmune conditions in which the immune system fights not just against other things, but turns against oneself. Because MS is a condition that is neurological and that affects the central nervous system and brain, it can really cause almost any symptom in any human.
But with trailblazing scientists and doctors, there might just be hope for the victims of MS around the world. In part 2, we will take an introspective look at the incredible and potentially life-changing discoveries that researchers at Stanford Hospital and Kyverna Lab have made.
Hi, I'm Marcy. I have multiple sclerosis, and I've had it for about 12 years or more. And for most of the time, I hardly noticed it. It was sort of in the background. And like many people, it's not clear how to manage MS or how it's going to affect you. But over the last few years, it's gotten worse, and progressively it's been harder to walk and harder swallowing and little noticeable things that make you a scary future, like what happens next. And the future isn't very bright for people with MS, and so it can be very scary, and you can kind of lose hope. There's no cure. There's no great guarantee on any way to manage the disease, and so you just have to take it day by day.
Since the 15th century, multiple sclerosis has been shrouded in uncertainty and fear, but now hope may be on the horizon. In part 2 of this InFocus report, we explore a groundbreaking clinical trial that could lead to the cure for this devastating disease. Since 2016, the field of hematology has been advancing CAR T-cell therapy to combat B-cell lymphoma. However, Dr. Losky recognized its untapped potential for treating multiple sclerosis. By collaborating with Stanford University's neurology department, Dr. Losky is bridging two fields of research in a bid to achieve world-changing impacts.
About 4 years ago, neurologists started to want to be more interested in looking at chemotherapy as a treatment for MS, because chemotherapy can eradicate a lot of immune cells. So I started working with one of the neurologists here, Jeff Dunn, about a nationwide study for MS about giving chemotherapy.
If someone has MS, we can take their blood out by a process called apheresis. We collect a bunch of their lymphocytes. We give them back their blood.
And it took about 8 hours of apheresis.
But we take those lymphocytes and then we actually engineer them.
So now you've taken somebody's T-cell and artificially put some kind of flag on its surface
that allows them to recognize a protein expressed on the surface of their own B cells
to direct to a B cell.
And we think that MS may be related to a virus that lives latently inside those cells.
And then we infuse the T cell and it's circulating around the body anywhere it sees a B cell, either a normal B cell or an abnormal MS-inducing B cell. The T cell will kill all the B cells in that individual.
Patient Marcy McHugh shares her timeline for this trial.
From day 0 to day 28, they monitor you and your blood constantly. And by like day 18 or 19, I was back home and feeling great again, and I had no B cells. And in theory, I no longer have an active MS.
Dr. Jeffrey Dunn sheds light on the promising future that may lie ahead for patients battling multiple sclerosis.
I think historically, having MS has been thought of as a really tragic degenerative syndrome because it can cause such major symptoms and major limitations. But I think that we are going to find the cause, and I think that we are going to find the cure for this disease.
So the amazing thing about medical research and the research that's done at Stanford and other institutions, backed by really pioneering pharmaceutical companies that are willing to support innovative new thinking, is it gives people who have diseases that have no cure hope that they can get better, which is a totally different outlook on life, as opposed to thinking about what you need to do to prepare to get worse, or prepare to die, or prepare not to be able to walk up and down your stairs. Now you can actually think about, what are you going to do to make your life better? What's next? Not worrying, but being hopeful and being excited about the future and thinking about getting better and what you can do and your own agency, being able to be in control of your life again and not controlled by a disease. There's just no words.
And you might think it's just a presidential slogan, hope, but today for me, it means a real opportunity to eliminate the fear of the unknown.
Marcy McHugh's journey of courage, resilience, and determination is only just the beginning. Thanks to the visionary work of trailblazing researchers, groundbreaking advancements in medical technology are transforming lives and redefining the future of medicine. For In Focus, I'm Vincent Wong, co-reporting with Lily McHugh.